Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko. Ugnayan ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service sa iba't ibang embahada ng Pilipinas upang maghatid ng impormasyon at kaalaman sa mga kalagayan ng ating mga kapwa Pinoy na naninirahan at nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko para sa isang makabayang serbisyo publiko para sa overseas Filipino workers. Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko kasama si Ray Sampang dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Mabuhay at isang mapagpalang pagbati po mula dito sa Pilipinas, ang inyong inang bayan. Ako po inyong lingkod, Ray Sampang. Muli nag-aanyaya sa isa na namang edisyon ng programang Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service, ang overseas station ng Presidential Broadcast Service Bureau of Broadcast Services. Kami po ay nasa ilalim ng pangangasiwa ng Presidential Communications Office. Kasama po ng buong pwersa ng ating programa mula po sa ating production side, sila Erwin Peñano, Stephanie Vicente, and of course sa ating technical side dito sa Master Control si Ms. Susan Aizon at si Mr. Milo Janela at ating mga kasamahan na rin sa ating Voice of America transmitter sites dyan po sa ating ng Tarlac. Muli po namin kayo iniimbitahan para sa isa na namang programang ito ng puno ng impormasyon hinggil po sa mga aktibidad, mga ginagawa ng ating mga embahada at mga konsulada sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo na nagbibigay ng impormasyon at serbisyo publiko sa ating mga kababayang Pilipino working and living abroad. Pero bago ako tuloy magpatuloy, gusto ko munang magpasalamat kay Stephanie Vicente who pitched in sa 2 episode ng ating programang Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko. Ito pong ating programa ay masusubaybayan po ninyo sa ating Filipino Service Program sa pamamagitan ng ating shortwave broadcast. Yan po ay in courtesy of Voice of America dyan sa Tinang Tarlac. Napapanood din po sa ating Facebook broadcast live sa Radyo Pilipinas Facebook page. Gayon din sa ating Radyo Pilipinas World Service YouTube channel. Ano po, ayan. So, bisitahin nyo lamang po ang ating mga social media apps and please like and subscribe sa mga programa po na inyong makikita dito sa ating mga social media apps. Para sa edisyong ito ng Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko, pupuntahan natin ng isang bansa kung saan naroon ang ating embahada o konsulada. Ay kilalang kilala po itong bansang ito. Isa ito sa kung hindi man pinakamayaman ay mayamang bansa na malapit lamang po dito sa ating bansa Pilipinas. At marami rin tayong mga kababayang Pilipino, lalo na mga overseas Filipino workers or Filipinos living and working sa nasabing bansa. Oil rich ang country ito. Yan. Pero kamustahin natin. Kamusta naman ang ating mga kababayan dyan na nagtatrabaho at naninirahan sa nasabing bansa? Kamusta naman ang estado ng ating mga opisyales ng ating konsulada dito sa nasabing bansa? Makakasama po natin mula sa Brunei Darussalam. Yes, you heard it right. Brunei Darussalam ang ating pong pupuntahan ngayon. Makakasama natin ang ating Consul Bernadette A. Mendoza ng ating Philippine Embassy sa Bandar Seri Begawan, Brunei Darussalam, at makakasama rin natin of course si Ginoong Philip Adrian Fernandez, ang ating I think he's the cultural officer ng ating konsulado embahada sa Brunei Darussalam. So, magandang araw po mula dito sa Pilipinas, Consul Bernadette A. Mendoza, and of course kay Ginoong Philip Adrian Fernandez. Magandang araw po.
Magandang araw po, magandang hapon o magandang tanghali po sa lahat sa inyo, Mr. Ray, at lahat po ng ating mga tagapakinig. Mr. Ray, kailangan ko lang po ng kaunting tulong, pasensya na.
Opo.
Humina po yung audio ninyo, halos hindi ko po kayo marinig.
Humina ang audio natin. Alright. Sige, medyo lalagyan lang natin ng konting adjustment. Consul? So how is that, Consul? Narinig niyo na po ako?
Kayo. Salamat.
Okay, sige po. And I believe Consul Mendoza, kasama rin natin si Mr. Philip Adrian Fernandez, ang ating cultural officer, o hindi pa, mamaya pa. Pero makakasama natin siya later on sa ating programa. Thank you very much.
Kasama ko po siya. We're in the same room.
Okay.
He is our public diplomacy officer.
Public diplomacy
officer.
Public diplomacy officer. Sige, I will.
Interpol po for short. Whereas I am I can be also called Consul Bing Mendoza for short.
All right, Consul Bing Mendoza. All right. Thank you very much for the information, Consul Bing. So, let me get started with our questions for today dito sa ating edisyong ito ng Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko. First of all, paano ba natin madidescribe ang relationship ng Pilipinas sa ating host country dyan po sa Brunei Darussalam?
I see. Yung relations po natin with Brunei Darussalam, no, we can describe the relationship as warm, friendly, fraternal, and robust, no? Because of our shared geographic location, our shared history, and our close and frequent interactions due to our common interests and concerns in the region, no? Kasi po malapit lang po talaga tayo sa isa't isa. So just last year, Philippines and Brunei celebrated 40 years of bilateral diplomatic relations, no? And several activities nga were held by the embassy for the celebration, including coming up with a commemorative yearbook with the Filipino community. And one of the most significant events to happen last year was the state visit to Brunei Darussalam of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., no? That was in May 2024, during which he met with His Majesty Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, other government officials of Brunei, and the president also met with the Filipino community in Brunei, and he was given a copy of this commemorative yearbook on the 40 years of Philippine-Brunei relations.
Ayun, so 40 years na po pala. 40 years of diplomatic relations with Brunei Darussalam. And of course, naha-highlight po yan tuwing bumibisita ang isang kapunong ehekutibo ng Pilipinas sa nasabing bansa. Pero matanong ko lang, I'm just curious, Consul Bing, when you say, kasi may cultural and fraternal ties tayo with Brunei, what can you give us a good example of that fraternal and cultural ties with Brunei?
Well, for one thing, especially in southern Philippines, no, the Brunei has been very helpful to us when it comes to the monitoring and the peace process. They help us here because they're concerned. Kasi nga po, southern Philippines, especially yung ating Muslim brothers and sisters, no, have actually we can say a shared culture, no? Shared culture, and to some extent yung language with Brunei. So those who visit Brunei from southern Philippines actually are able to they could speak Malay or some form of Malay that allows them to adjust easily dito sa Brunei. So, and ang dami po talaga na na you can see, if you were here, you will see a lot of similarities, no? In items, cultural items, sa pagdadamit, no? And yung certain parts of the culture of our Muslim brothers and sisters in the south po of the Philippines, makikita niyo po 'yon.
Oh, wow. Sige. So, yun ang strengthening tie, bilateral tie, cultural ties with them, with Brunei Darussalam.
Oo. On the diplomatic level, lahat po ng naging Philippine president since 1984 when Brunei got its independence. Lahat po ay nag-state visit na. And then Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah has also made several visits also to the Philippines. And we have several agreements signed. Yun. So, ganun po yung ties natin with Brunei.
Alright. Consul Bing, ang alam ko, Brunei is a small country, pero nag-iisa lang ba ang ating embahada o konsulada dyan sa Brunei o meron pa kayong ibang jurisdiction under the embassy?
Because as you mentioned, this is a small country. We have only one Philippine Foreign Service post, and this is the embassy in Bandar Seri Begawan. Here po, in this embassy.
Alright.
So wala na po kaming ibang jurisdiction because it's limited.
Okay. Well, how many overseas Filipino workers are in Brunei Darussalam based on your records, on your data, Consul Bing?
We're talking about estimates, no? Because actually the figures we are not we don't have access to the actual figures, but estimates po namin, first and foremost, there's close to 23,000 overseas Filipinos in Brunei, no, and 98% of them are OFW, so that's around 22,600, something like that. And most of them, around 70% of them are professionals, professional workers, and a few po are domestic workers. But karamihan po dito ay mga professionals working in various sectors like healthcare, mga nurses and doctors, education, no, because we have teachers and some administrative staff or administrators themselves. Sa construction po, andun po ang ating mga architects and engineers, also in oil and gas sector. Yun.
Okay.
So, and of course, hospitality.
Yan. So how does Brunei, especially the government in Brunei and the employers na nagbibigay ng trabaho sa ating mga kababayan dyan, how do they see Filipinos working for them?
I see. What we understand is that the OFWs here are generally treated well. No? In fact, they are some of them stayed for decades already. Dito na sila tumunda, andito yung mga anak nila, mga pamilya nila. No, because of the good working conditions here in general. No, and unfortunately, of course, may mandatory retirement ng 55. So some of our kababayan, knowing na malapit na yung taning, they already are well prepared for their retirement, or some of them prepare for life somewhere else, if not in the Philippines and in other parts of the world.
No, yun. Malaki kaya ang exchange rate ng Kuwaiti dinar sa Philippine peso. Would you know that, Consul Bing?
Brunei BND po is around 43. Yeah, around 43 pesos per one Brunei dollars.
Yes.
Of course, it varies, no, yung exchange rate.
Napakagandang marinig na maganda yung perception at pakikitungo ng mga employers ng mga taga Brunei sa ating mga Filipino workers compared sa ibang mga bansa, lalong-lalo na dito sa gitnang silangan. At maganda at nakapag-establish tayo ng magandang rapport at magandang reputation sa ating mga employers dyan. Pero having said that, may mga Filipinos po ba tayo na humihingi ng tulong, lalo na those OFWs or Filipinos who are in distress na humihingi ng tulong sa ating embahada?
Yeah, meron naman po. That's why we still have in this side of the embassy, we have the ATN unit. Familiar naman po kayo sa ATN, di ba?
Yes, yung Assistance to Nationals.
Yeah, and then of course yung MWO namin, the Migrant Workers Office, last year po lumipat sila ng from the Chancery, they transferred to another area within Bandar Seri Begawan. Hindi naman po masyadong malayo. Yun, because they really needed more space. At alam niyo naman po na under the Department of Migrant Workers Act of 2021,
yes,
yung mandate po ng assistance or ATN for OFWs ay nalipat na po sa DMW and their MWOs abroad. But we continue to coordinate kasi po hindi naman po lahat ng dapat na processes doon. Kunyari yung in case merong court hearings, meron kami kailangang isulat po sa immigration, sa Department of Labor, dadaan po sa sa foreign affairs side of the embassy. So again, this is comparatively konti lang po siya, no, but some of our OFWs
all right. Pero as of now, Consul Bing, meron ba tayong nasa shelter ngayon ng embahada o ng shelter ng MWO?
Minimum of last week po yung minimum po namin na I think there were 7. Can I just check?
Okay.
With yeah, so, I think mga 7 sila. No, I wasn't able to get their stories. It may be less already kasi alam ko po nag-repatriate na po kami or nag-assist po kami ng ilang OFWs, or if they're not OFWs, other overseas Filipinos, last week, and even just at the start of this week. So verify ko lang po yung number, sorry po, no? But yung ano po, yung kaunti pong according to the MWO, yung humingi po ng tulong from July of last year up to the current number 72. So these are OFWs, no?
Alright.
And so we can say na against 22,600, minority po talaga.
Yeah.
So which is although kahit nakaunti sila, is of course we always try to help them. Yun. So,
Pero
of course,
doon po sa maliit na porsyento na yan, opo,
Ano po
Consul Bing, doon sa maliit na porsyento na yan na nababanggit po ninyo na you're trying to assist, ano po? Ano ba yung
Yes po.
ano ba yung usual na
na-receive po na, yung na-receive po na yung na-receive po na tulong, pero I think the active cases of OFWs in distress have gone down to 40. Hindi po lahat-lahat mariresupa po kaagad. At least that is from our MWO.
Alright.
Yun.
Doon sa 40 na yan, ano po yung the usual na problema ng mga OFWs na yun?
Meron po na meron po tayong mga cases ng underpayment of salary, or mga illegal deductions, or no off days, o non-payment of overtime, no? Kuminsan po is they have to work in multiple households. Yun. Pero ano po, this is really minimal. Hindi po to lahat ng 40. Meron din po kasi mga may Sharia cases, no? Because if they commit actions that are not in accordance with the Sharia law, yun. Usually po cases ng pag-ibig, unfortunately, happens.
Okay.
Yun po. And then ang karamihan po ditong nagkakaproblema is immigration po. Kasi sa time, actually walang problema sa employment, but there was palagay ko ito po yung pinakamarami, because we also encountered this problem. Yung yung fake immigration stamps po. Kunyari binigay na ng ng OFW sa kanyang HR yung kanyang passport para ma-process sa immigration, and then lalabas po na yung dating either yung agent na binigyan ng company to process the immigration a previous, let's say 2 years ago or ganon, somehow they gave fake immigration stamps na hindi alam ng company. Ngayong nire-renew na, na-discover na ganon. So that becomes a problem, no? O kaya ito po ay na-minimize na po. But let's say yung agent ay tumakbo, hindi na nakita at nawawala na yung passport, no? So we encountered a lot of these cases last year. So it's not also easy to resolve these issues because they become immigration and labor cases.
Alright. Pero
not the fault of the OFW.
Okay.
Pero wala naman po silang problema sa employers nila. It has to do with agents po na pagkatiwalaan ng mga passports nila.
Alright.
And this is not only for Filipinos. It affects other migrant workers.
Pero Consul Bing, you said yung agents nakapag-i-issue sa ating mga kababayan ng fake immigration papers. Ito bang mga agents na ito Brunei nationals ba ito o naggaling dito sa Pilipinas process yung papeles?
Ay, iba-iba po, iba-iba po. Unfortunately, I could say na meron na po sigurong isa o dalawang Pilipino. I think po is na if I remember properly, nakauwi na yung isa. Not sure kung na-process siya, no? Pero hindi lang po ito mga Pilipino, no? There are other nationalities involved. So but I believe that the reason why lumilitaw na nga po na may mga fake silang stamps is because na nag-tighten na rin po naman the host government having become aware of this in the previous years, nag-tighten naman po sila ng kanilang monitoring and compliance systems, at yung mga agents hindi po basta-basta makakagawa ng mga fake stamps ngayon, no. So
Alright.
kaya po lumilitaw na yon, at nahuhuli na po yung mga dating nagbiktima sa ating mga kababayan.
Alright. So
okay na rin po itong cases na to.
So how does the embassy assist them legally? Nagpo-provide tayo ng mga lawyers, Consul Bing?
Iba-iba pong we're not talking only of this case, but in various cases, yes, in whenever meron silang mga Shari cases or the extraordinary, hindi po palagi. Let's say meron tayong kababayan who really committed a crime, we do provide them with lawyers.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
Meron tayong retained. Depende po kung depende po sa case. If this is an OFW, syempre po retainer will be under the DMW through the MWO. At kung hindi po, if this is not a worker, then andito po sa embassy, sa ating legal assistance fund ng Department of Foreign Affairs.
Alright. Well, Consul Bing, medyo papaling naman ako dito sa ating diplomacy officer. Ano po? Si Mr. Philip.
Si Mr. Pao, halika Pao.
Pao. Si Sir Pao. Yeah. Magandang araw po mula dito sa Pilipinas. Can I call you Sir Pao? Yan.
Apa.
All right. Sir Pao, so what does a diplomacy officer does para sa ating embahada diyan sa Brunei Darussalam?
Bali po, yung trabaho ko bilang sa public diplomacy, number one, dahil nandito po tayo sa Philippine Embassy in Brunei Darussalam, number one na we connect to our overseas Filipinos here. Ngayon, bilang Philippine Embassy na, for example, may mga updates tayo sa mga consular updates, like for example, the usual consular updates like passports and everything. We course them through the right channels. Ngayon po kasi dito, syempre ang mga kababayan po natin, alam naman natin na social media po tayo. We primarily connect them through Facebook and Instagram and all of the embassy events actually here, we course it to those social media platforms. So bilang trabaho po natin bilang sa public diplomacy is to inform them of important updates.
Alright.
Like for example, activities ng embassy and so forth.
And speaking of informing our Filipino communities ng mga mahalagang announcements na yan, ano ba yung the usual o mga highlights na isinasagawa ng ating embahada to help keep the Filipino community tightly knit dyan sa Brunei Darussalam?
Actually, the current Filipino diaspora here, meron naman silang mga Filipino organizations. Actually, we have I think mga 30 Filipino community organizations here ngayon. Yung mga Philcom orgs, it's grouped by their professions. For example, grupo ng mga engineer, organization ng mga nurse, organization ng mga teacher. So, currently organized na sila eh. So ngayon, ang trabaho natin bilang embassy is, for example, this past year, we've managed actually, I think 4 or 5 meet and greet events.
Okay.
Ngayon, itong mga meet and greet events na ito, sir, this is for actually not really for the organized. Well, they are welcome to attend. But we cater this to the unorganized. Yung mga tipong mga bagong salta dito na syempre wala pa silang alam tungkol sa Brunei, hindi na alam kung sino yung mga kasama nila ng mga Pilipino ngayon. We're informing them, talagang tinatarget namin sila, number one, social media, number two, yung mga kakilala na nating mga Philcom orgs dito, na baka may mga kakilala yung mga kakilala nyo, through the word of mouth, na pumunta kayo dito sa embassy, na meron tayong meet and greet event dito. Yung meet and greet event namin dito, meron tayong mga team building activities. Technically para siyang team building. Technically parang team building. Tapos meron din tayong mga meron din kaming ino-offer na, although partnership to, na free course. Nakipag-tie up tayo sa isang dito, Bruneian entity dito na meron mga free course on occupational and safety health awareness and first aid through the Brunei Red Crescent. So technically, hindi lang nag-i-enjoy yung mga Pilipino natin dito, bagkus meron pa sila natututunan. Tapos may mga certificates din kami binibigay sa kanila. So, in any way, in whatsoever, at least nakakatulong kami sa pag-develop ng kanilang confidence bilang technically professionals naman din sila on their own respective fields. And of course, makibagay na rin sila sa mga kapwa Pilipino nila dito.
Okay.
Yan.
Okay. Sir, paano yung cultural exchanges between Brunei and the Filipino community? May mga events ba tayo na ganoon na ito yung cultural, ito yung traditions and culture ng Brunei, ito yung tradition and culture ng Pilipinas, and we present it to each other, and probably kahit paano maka-imbibe doon. Meron bang mga ganong events?
Yes. Primarily kasi dito sa Brunei, sir, number one, on our stint here sa Brunei Darussalam, primarily kasi the number one that you can penetrate the Brunei population here through diplomacy is number one, food.
Okay.
Of course, syempre halal, di ba?
Okay.
Kailangan halal ang ipakita natin. So, nakikipag-tie up tayo sa mga, for example, sa Ministry of Foreign Affairs, kasi dito, for example, number one, just like last year, if you're familiar with Hari Raya, so after Ramadan, after ng Ramadan, syempre nagse-celebrate ang ating Islamic population dito through food. Ngayon, that's tinatarget namin yun in a way na ini-introduce namin sila on our own Filipino food, like for example halal food, like for example mga kakanin, mga pansit, and yung mga ganun, sir. Yung mga minimal, it's not really minimal, but it's how you penetrate the Bruneian population. Food ang number one sa kanila dito. Actually.
Sabi nga, may kasabihan nga po how do you get a person like you through his stomach, sabi nga.
Yes.
Nga, di ba? Yes. Parang ganun din dyan. Alright.
Yes.
Pero
and also meron din kaming for example, yung mga book donations.
Yes.
So technically, we just like, I think this was in November, we've donated a number of books through a university here, the University of Technology Brunei, which they catered naman kasi actually gusto nila ng mga libro natin.
Wow.
So yes,
The Philippine Book
Corner. Actually Philippine Book Corner. We inaugurated the Philippine Book Corner at the University of Technology in Brunei.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay. Sir Philip, babalikan ko lang si Consul Bing kasi meron akong itatanong. Siguro this will be the last question for today. Yes. Gusto ko pa sanang pahabain, kaya lang limited yung ating oras, pero ihabol ko itong tanong nito, importante rin to sapagkat dito po sa Pilipinas, Consul Bing, nagsimula na yung mahigpit na rules and regulations para po ng COMELEC para sa ating midterm elections dito sa Pilipinas. At isa rin po sa mga tinitingnan ngayon ay itong overseas absentee voting para sa ating mga kababayan Pilipino working and living abroad na gustong bumoto. At alam ko namang sinasagawa na ito, simula nung naging tuluyan itong ganap na batas, ito ay isinasagawa na, itong overseas absentee voting. So how is our embassy in Brunei preparing for the midterm elections para makaboto po yung ating mga kababayan dyan?
Yeah, nagtapos na po last September yung registration ng overseas Filipinos. At the moment, I don't have the number of how many registered. So, Pao, can you please ask how many have registered? And then, I'll just text na lang. And then, nag-training din po, nag-attend na po ng training yung aming assigned officers po and staff para po doon sa yung ginawa po ng COMELEC last year. It was done last year. And we are constantly receiving communications po from COMELEC for these preparations that I cannot exactly reveal here, these are confidential.
Apo.
So ang alam lang po namin is that Brunei is one of the countries that will have full mobile voting.
Yun.
Mobile or
Online voting.
Online voting. Yun. I'm not sure po kung buong mundo po ay mag-online voting po for the national elections.
Well, based sa mga panayam namin po sa COMELEC dito sa Pilipinas kay Director Laudianco ng COMELEC, merong ilang mga bansa na balota pa rin ang gagamitin. Ano po, lalo na yung, for example, one is China. Hindi sila pumayag na online voting. Gusto nila the usual process pa rin, parang balota pa rin. Pero karamihan po ng mga bansa online voting na rin. And napakaganda at sa Brunei pala pumayag ang Brunei na online voting. Yan, through cellphone, ano? Mabilis pa kaya 'yun at saka less stress, less hassle. Hindi lamang para sa mga botante kundi para na rin po sa mga magsasagawa ng voting diyan sa inyo, sa ating embahada, consul.
Yes po. Actually, from the last training, yung shinare po ng aming officers and staff na nag-attend po ng training ng COMELEC last year, we believe na mga February po, the registered voters will receive, we don't know if it's a link, and we don't know if, we're not sure yet kung may kinalaman pa po ang embassy doon sa processing, but kasi po yung mobile devices nila, have to be registered also with COMELEC. No? They have to already be in the list. Dapat po na-register na sila. No? Kasi po kung meron pong mga natirang mga overseas Filipinos and Brunei who did not register. So that was almost 1 year then, no? Almost 1 year yung registration process. Pero po, hindi po sila umabot noon at the end of September, if I'm not mistaken. Hindi po sila pwedeng bumoto.
Uy.
Yun.
Oo. Maski na gawin nila to by balloting, ano? By the usual, hindi talaga pwede.
Hindi po mag-i-issue ng ballot dito.
Okay.
Wala na po kaming kokolektahin because it will be direct.
Yes.
It will be direct. But again,
paperless.
Not being one of those who got the training, baka po meron akong nasabi na hindi tama and COMELEC will be the best agency po to explain the details. This is simply what I understand and Okay.
Is COMELEC constantly coordinating with you para po masiguro na maayos itong magiging online voting na ito?
Yeah, actually, if I may say, COMELEC is constantly coordinating with DFA. And DFA is the one that transmits all these additional instructions to us, no? Sila rin po kasi yung aming, 'di ba po, kailangan natin ng focal office or focal secretariat, no? So we have in DFA we have the overseas voting secretariat. So lahat po ng mga tanong namin ay kino-course namin through this secretariat who would transmit them to COMELEC para po isahan ng sagot because we would have common concerns lahat po ng foreign service posts and kami na rin po yung assigned as special kami po ay ina-assign anong tawag niyo doon, we are designated.
Okay.
Sandali. There are 6,205 registered voters in Brunei.
6,205 registered voters.
Opo, konti lang po ang nag-register. So,
well, anyway, at least nag-register, no? At least nag-register, di ba?
We keep on trying to promote and ask them to register, but kanya-kanya nilang pong kanya-kanya nilang choice.
Yes,
at baka po yung iba ay hindi nag-register kasi baka patapos na rin yung kontrata nila.
Yes, oo.
No?
Oo.
And they may have already transferred back. So, yun.
Right.
Yung mga overseas Filipinos po na in case po yung presinto nila they're registered but in the Philippines, if they were able to transfer their registration here sa Brunei, then for sure po makakapagboto rin po sila.
Okay. Well, Consul Bing, gustuhin ko mang pahabain itong ating panayan. It's getting interesting by the minute. Kaya lang talaga we're running out of material time. Siguro po, mensahe na lamang po ninyo sa ating mga kababayang Filipino working and living in Brunei. And I hope ma-share din natin itong programang ito sa Facebook page ng ating embahada para rin po mapanood at mapakinggan ng ating mga kababayan. Pero ika nga po, this interview will be aired by a shortwave through the facilities of Voice of America sa ating mga social media platform, Facebook page live, and of course sa YouTube channels natin. So, yung pong mensahe po ninyo sa ating mga kababayan Pilipino sa Brunei, maging dito sa mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas, go ahead po, Consul Bing.
Yes, of course po, I would like to send my New Year's greetings, no, and all other well wishes to all the Filipinos in Brunei. Mabuhay po kayong lahat, no. Sana po may nakikinig. And then, and of course, to the Filipino organizations and other Filipino individuals. Thank you for your unfailing cooperation with the Philippine Embassy, your goodwill and readiness to contribute your time, energy, and creativity enabled this embassy to come up with their well-attended and successful events, no, in the previous year and even, no, mas matagal na. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
All right. Thank you very much, Consul Bing, and please give my heartfelt thanks to our diplomacy officer, public diplomacy officer, si Sir Philip Adrian Fernandez, ating PAO. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much po. Maraming salamat sa oras po na ibinigay nyo dito sa ating programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. At yan po ang isa na namang edisyon ng ating programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay at pakikinig at panonood. Ako po inyong lingkod, Ray Sampang. Mabuhay ang Pilipino saan mang panig ng mundo.
Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Ugnayan ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service sa iba't ibang embahada ng Pilipinas upang maghatid ng impormasyon at kaalaman sa mga kalagayan ng ating mga kapwa Pinoy na naninirahan at nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Para sa isang Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko para sa overseas Filipino workers. Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Kasama si Ray Sampang dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.